Hello everybody, welcome to BrickVault. In this video, I've got these great looking four-legged mechs from the excellent anime 86. These are the custom Lego minifigure scale XM2 Reginleif and Fido from the builder Zio. The war machines come from a dystopian semi-nightmare world where there is an underclass of citizens forced to endlessly fight off massive waves of AI-driven killer robots. The combat is freakishly fast and creative, with the universe incredibly well thought out and also so dark. Think Attack on Titan meets some type of Gundam universe, but also way different. This video, though, isn't about the show, but instead the custom models. The XM2 stands for Experimental Model 2, which is technically a prototype combat vehicle, and it's based on the original Juggernaut of Season 1. It's a bit bigger, heavier, more well-armored, has a bigger gun, and somehow is much faster as well. The only real trade-off is that it's incredibly unsafe to control if you are a new pilot, so only the best of the best operate the Reginleif. Fido is an M101 Barrett scavenging drone who offers in-field support to ground forces and is also a very good boy. Before I get any further, though, into the finer points of the models, first I'd like to say that if you wanted to build either of them, the instructions can be found at our web store, BrickVault.toys. Included with each purchase is the PDF step-by-step building guide, a digital parts list for quickly uploading and ordering all of the pieces you will need. Every single one of our models is built in real life and then tested for strength. The instructions are also tested so they're easy to follow along. When you buy instructions from us, it is a great way to help support the very talented independent Lego designers that we work with, like Zio, who has built a ton of Halo models like the Warthog, the Scorpion, the Mantis, the Saber, the Falcon, and then he's also made several different Mario-themed builds, a ton of dog builds, plus Denis Villeneuve's latest adaptation of Dune's Ornithopter. If you're interested in getting that custom build on, click that link in the description below if you want to get started. And now let's take a closer look first at the XM2 Reginleif. Its insect-like body shape is accentuated with its sharp and rounded exoskeleton of white armor. The shapes and proportions line up together very well, and the whole model feels lifelike in its stance. It's really got a lot of energy. And actually, let's get straight into the features, starting with its articulation and ability to pose. The legs have the ability to move around on the body left and right, and then the joints for the knees are relatively stiff. There technically is a little bit of articulation here, but I wouldn't suggest messing around too much with the default angle of this part of the leg, because they do generally break if you start hyper extending this model out too much in any degree. Now, along with the legs, there are two mandible-like arms in the front that can move as well. The black Technic panels are meant to be blades here on the Lego model. This is, I think, the standard loadout for the show, though in certain episodes and certain characters do have different types of weapons attached here. Now, the same goes for the cannon on the back. This is by far the most common way you see this vehicle. It's in fact fixed to the much larger module that can move around on the base of the body. It's got a great range of articulation, though it doesn't hold its position quite as stiff as the legs. Now, once the cannon is folded back, you now have space to open up the hatch for the cockpit. It's in fact two layered windscreens that come up here to reveal a decent looking interior finish. I've got a pilot in here that loosely could look like Shine, but there are plenty of different looks that might work better. These are in fact just some pieces we had on hand in the studio that I'm fairly happy with. The pilot fits in and out no problem though, and that is basically it for the features of the primary build. So now let's take a quick look over at Fido. This is the unmanned drone that works directly with the 86. The vehicle's specific function is scavenger, but Fido is an all-around support vehicle, both in terms of field services like ammo runs, and Fido is also a bit of an emotional support dog for the team as well. The robot has a sensor that's partially covered in the front, and then another one that is more easily visible in the back. The two arms rest in a way that looks somewhat like ears that are folded back on this very large robot. The posability of the legs is a little bit easier to manipulate here, mostly because in theory they're just a bit shorter and simpler builds, and there's less weight for them to support. The head is on a ball joint, so it can turn a little, but it also rotates a bit on the other two axes as well. So he's got a bit of an expression if you want to pose him in certain ways. Now on top of that, the two arms in the back have several points of articulation, so you can, for example, make it look like Fido is reloading the primary cannon on the XM2, which is, by the way, designed to easily break off of the main model, specifically so you can pose the model in this way. I think he complements the primary build really, really well here, and that is basically it in a nutshell for both builds. I honestly didn't know much about the 86 universe before seeing Zio's creations a couple months back. The builds were enough to get me interested in the show, and now I'm glad I got to build these models. I think I'm gonna follow the universe to its conclusion. And anyways, if you want to build these models for yourself, the instructions can be found at our web store, brickvault.toys, linked in the description below. As always, let me know what types of other models you'd like to see built in the future. If you enjoy our content, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and/or share. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, or share, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.